How did I go from good eyebrows to better brow? By going above the brow line. So stick around because I'm going to show you how to make this brow look even better by focusing above the brow line. So if this is you, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. Thank you so much for joining me. So it's still crazy in Los Angeles. We are still dealing with some of the fires, but it's a lot of the smoke that we're dealing with. So that is also very dangerous, and so definitely keep us in your prayers. I've been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years, and I'm still meeting some of you guys that are kind of in the LA County. I met someone from Long Beach. I also meet people even further away that are visiting in Los Angeles. So thank you so much for coming by, seeing me, trusting me with your eyebrow. It's always exciting when you tell me that you're from Ireland and you're watching me from Ireland. It's kind of cool. Let's get to the model. So like I said, she does have good eyebrows. We're right up here above the brow line. Look at this line that I'm drawing. This side is naturally a little bit lower than the other side. We all have that. My side here is also a little lower, so I do go a tiny bit higher. Just so you know, this client's eyes are pretty deep set. Her brow bone comes out. She actually has a small eyelid if her eyes were open. We're protecting her identity, of course, which is why her eyes are closed. So that is why it's important to focus up there. So obviously the brows hasn't been shaped yet. I haven't tweezed off the hair she doesn't need. You'll see that in just a second. But just doing that alone really makes a difference. And again, like I said, this side, even on myself, is naturally lower. So I just go a tiny bit higher, just purposefully, to raise it up and even it out a tiny bit with the other side. Now this side is naturally tiny bit higher, which is why I'm not going that much higher with the color. But you can see just as you're watching this, how nice it looks. It doesn't look overdone. And keep in mind, her brows are not shaped yet. And you don't see the gap as much as you see on the other eyebrow. But just doing that, I mean, try this out. Say you have overgrown eyebrows or they're really thin, you have a small eyelid, your brow bone is very prominent. Try this and see if you can see the difference. See if you can see what I see. And I guarantee you, even if you don't have deep set eyes and your brows aren't that low, anybody could benefit from that. Okay, so the brows are shaped. I'm applying a primer because I'm going to use powder. I believe powder will go on much nicer, and I just want it to be a little bit more precise. Pencil will work as well. I always like to just use different products. Now, if you use the primer right above the brow line, I have an old brow tattoo, which is why I'm being very gentle with my eyebrows, and I put a little bit of concealer above here. So the primer is going to help the powder to go on not only even, but it's going to help it to stay on even that much better. And you don't have to struggle as much with the powder. I'm going to use ash brown powder. I believe with this client, I might have used ash brown or medium brown. It's ash brown. There you go. Same color. Now, she's a little bit lighter than I am with the hair and all, but I'm going to use a darker side of the powder, partly because I wanted to outline the eyebrow, and I'm not starting up in the front. If you use powder right up in the front, you want to go light, right? But because I'm going right at that corner, now look at this. You're like thinking, wow, that's a lot, right? But trust me on this, try it out. It's makeup. You can always take it off, right? So keep in mind the measurement. It's pinch of the nose, which is right at that area, right over the bridge, in that little pinch. And if you go over the your pupil, which is inside your iris, in an angle, I always like to say like 1 or 2 o'clock, that is your arch. And then you notice when you make that outline, notice when I make the outline, I drag the brush down because I'm getting the color inside the eyebrows. So again, I mean, we're just going to assume that that line's right there on me. And I'm just starting right up here. And I'm going real quickly on me because, I really want you to just mainly look at the model. But you see that I'm laying the brush. See how I'm holding the brush? I'm outlining first. And then I'm dragging the brush down so that way it fills in inside the root. Up in the front is whatever's left on the brush. That's where I go a little bit up in the front. Now notice this, I'm combing up the hair. So pretty, right? You do still see a little bit of a shadow. I always go back and forth, so don't worry about that. So you comb up the hair and you start really seeing, oh, I see what she means. So again, I'm going to do the other side with the arch outline. Now you can make that little, I always know where my arch is. You can make that little line with the measurement. Again, I'm just going, I start here and I go up here. I don't start all the way up in the front because I don't want that to be too dark. So again, you're creating that outline and then you're dragging the brush down. So you create that outline and then you drag the brush down, dragging it down so you're getting it inside the root. That's very, very important. The highlighter is always important, right? Because, you know, the highlight is especially important for people with smaller eyelid, deep set eyes, because it really opens up your eyes and lifts up your eyebrows. You could see that I'm using the brow freeze because her brow hair kind of curls down. The freeze really holds it up. And you notice that the hair's standing up, but not straight up in a 90-degree angle. I'm kind of weird about that. I stress that all the time. It's more this way as opposed to straight up. And the freeze will really keep the hair up. Just apply a generous amount and go over it with a clean spoolie brush if you have it. Then that way you really get off all the excess residue. And it'll just keep it this way all day. With that primer underneath the powder and that freeze gel, you will have this staying on literally all day with the hair up, the color staying up on all day, the hair staying up. And look at this, it just gives it a fuller look. And as you can see right here, it just gives that lifted look. And so, I mean, we all want that lifted look. I want that lifted look, especially because I'm in my 50s. So anything I can do to get that lift that is natural, that's what I'm gonna do. And makeup can always do that without looking too overly done. That's why the highlighter is important. That's why gels are important, because all of these products just help it to look natural without looking overly done. Obviously, the color is what really adds that lift, that adds that extra oomph, but it's really those extra gels and the highlighters that gives that natural, no makeup look. So definitely get in the habit of doing that. I have clients that still tell me, oh, I forget that to do that. I need to get in the habit of doing that. So make that your daily habit. So are you gonna make a daily habit? Highlighter, gel. Freeze gel is a really good product if you don't overdo it too. So we do have a clear brow gel that doesn't have as much intensity in holding up the hair, but that's still good as well. The freeze gel is just really good if you have wavy hair, curly hair, and you really want it to stand up. But again, not this way, that way, okay? So everything is like 1 or 2 o'clock for me. The arch is 1 or 2 o'clock. The hair standing up this way is so much more, I think, aesthetically better looking as opposed to just straight up. That just, to me, doesn't look natural. So the idea is to make it as natural as, what's that famous word? Possible, right? I get that word probably all day, every day at work, at the salon. Natural as possible, because we all know that we're a little uneven by now, right? And I will list all of these products in the descriptions. I will list my makeup in the descriptions because I still get asked, what are you wearing on your lips? What's on your cheeks? So that will be written down as well. I do tag them. I don't get to tag every color specifically. I don't know why that is, but I still try anyway. But the specific colors will be written in the descriptions. Tagging always helps me. Subscribing helps me. So, and thank you for the comments. I try to get to them as much as I can. And yeah, again, keep us in your prayers and thank you for your support. And I will see you guys right back here next week.